McLaren first race win since Daniel Ricciardo in Monza 2021. I want to say, yeah.
Yeah,
Um, and their upgrades seem to work, but it looks like, along with Ferrari, they can take the battle to Red Bull around certain tracks. But the
a little
question, I
bit.
guess, is, can they do it more consistently now?
Well, the interesting thing is Ferrari seemed to take the battle to Red Bull in qualifying, but McLaren were able to do it in the race,
Yeah.
which was quite interesting because we haven't seen Ferrari really do it in the race to Red Bull. I mean, Ferrari were quite close as well. Let's not forget that. Both Ferraris are quite close to Max.
They were, yeah, especially Leclerc towards the end. I mean, I guess we haven't really seen that tested fully yet because the race where they were close was Australia.
Yeah.
Sainz could have won that legitimately, I believe, anyway. They were close, but Max ended up retiring with an issue, so we didn't really get to see that play
No,
out.
yeah.
But yeah,
But
McLaren were close.
it's interesting. I'm intrigued to see if it carries on or if it is just the Miami track, the setup that they had, just seemed to all gel together.
It's interesting you say they were closer in the race than they were in qualifying. We can't forget Lando Norris almost put it on pole if he didn't make that mistake. It would have been
Well,
close.
for the sprint,
Yeah.
he was see for the sprint, yes, he was going well SQ1, SQ2. I mean, we never know if he would have snatched it away in SQ3. But in the actual quality for the race, he never really looked like getting higher than a fourth, which he got fifth.
Mm.
So he what like if you forget about SQ3, so the sprint qualifying where he looked amazing. In the actual qualifying, he looked thereabouts where McLaren have been all season.
That's fair. But he wasn't too far away, though, which
No, no,
is,
well, none of them were, wasn't it? The top four was split by like 2/10.
yeah, it was close. But I guess the question is now then, given similar tracks like Miami, can we see McLaren pose the same challenge they did to Red Bull? So,
That's what we're interested in. That's what we need to find out. Like, is it just Miami the setup that they had, or have the upgrades actually made the car battleable with the Red Bull?
I don't know. The thing which kind of tells me maybe no is that Oscar Piastri also was able to take the fight to the front runners as well.
Yeah,
Now, Oscar Piastri had a good start to the race. He did end up dropping off slightly,
yeah.
and was battling Carlos Sainz, and Lando seemed to just have pace out of nowhere. But then again, I think that's the difference between Lando and Oscar anyway. I think Lando's more experienced. I think he's quicker. You know, Oscar's very good, but Lando's on a different level anyway. So whether it's the upgrades, I don't know. I think we need to see more.
Yeah.
But Oscar was there as well, so maybe it's just a case of McLaren went well around Miami. But we have got a similar track in Imola next. We've obviously got different weather
Yeah,
conditions.
it's not too dissimilar, is it, Imola and Miami?
No, in terms of what the conditions will be like, the humidity,
Mm,
possibly track temperature are going to be completely different. But in terms of some of the corners,
yeah.
the speeds, it is quite similar. Very high speed track, just like Miami is in Sector 1 and Sector 3. It's got, Imola's got that chicane bit that Miami has. Miami has that little chicane bit. So there is similarities in the tracks.
It's going to be. Yeah, I think Ferrari will want to go well around Imola as well, won't they?
Well, they'll want to because it's their home race, so I imagine they'll
I
want to
mean,
go well.
what's interesting, if we're touching on Imola as well, is apparently, was it last week, just before Miami? Was it Antonelli tested the W13 in
Yes, he
Imola?
did. He did. Yes, he did.
And he was setting good time. So Mercedes have got recent data to some degree.
Well, I mean, you gotta remember
It's an older car,
it's an older
but
car.
it's still of this spec of generation.
Yeah, I mean, Mercedes are a hard one to really look at in terms of that
I
because
mean, again, their upgrades in the race with Hamilton seemed to look like they were working.
they did, but Mercedes have arguably, unless I can only think off the top of my head, Mercedes are the team that have changed their base philosophy
Yeah,
around more than anyone else. So I think the car Antonelli drove is nothing like what they've got now. But either way, we don't know, do we?
No.
In terms of McLaren, though, do you think McLaren can pull off another worldly result around Imola? Do you reckon Lando Norris could be within the win?
I don't think Max is going to have an easy ride of over 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way. I think Max will win, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as the start of the season has been.
Yeah. Do you think it's like that? Okay, so this brings me on to my next question. I wanted to talk about this as well. Do you think it's like that for the rest of the season, or do you think this is just very track dependent? It's going to be sporadic here and there. It's going to be a Miami here, maybe a Texas here, whatever it may be. Or is this a season-long thing now? Or is McLaren genuinely improving to the point where they are going to be within five seconds of Max every single race?
It's not going to be every single race. I think it'll just be McLaren. I think there'll be tracks where it's Ferrari that's within 5 seconds of Red Bull. I think McLaren might be. I think if Mercedes upgrades might work, maybe they might have a chance at 1 or 2 races come to the end.
I mean, Mercedes do usually, don't they? Even if, we saw it with Red Bull back in the 2016 to 2019 era, where it was kind of just Mercedes and Ferrari. There'd be that odd track where Red Bull would just show up with a package.
Yeah.
It'd kind of be like, it's their time. Mercedes could do something like that.
The only consistency I can guarantee is Red Bull will be at the front on every track, pretty much.
Yeah.
So you'll be looking at, I don't know, maybe an interchange between Ferrari and McLaren for the rest of the season. But I think there'll still be odd tracks where Max just demoralises us, like at Belgium.
Yeah.
I'm anticipating Max dominating Belgium again.
I'm anticipating a few Max dominations this season, but yeah,
not as many as there was.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, that's the direction we want to go in it. And I think my final question, I think this might be a bit counterproductive because we have no idea, but by the end of the 2025 season, could you potentially see a chance that maybe McLaren and Lando have challenged for the title?
No.
Do you not think there's enough time for progress by the end of that season for them to have challenged Red Bull or Max Verstappen for a championship?
2025, I don't think there's going to be a challenge to Max Verstappen's championship, but there could be a challenge to Red Bull's.
Is that depending then off if Sergio Perez stays or doesn't pick it up or whatever?
Yeah, I think the teams are getting closer. I just think Max will still have the edge over everyone else.
That's fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Well,
but
I mean,
we could see McLaren or Ferrari. I don't anticipate Mercedes. I think we could see McLaren or Ferrari 2025.
A McLaren Constructors Champion. Oh my God, imagine. It's been a long time since I said that.
I wouldn't put it past it, but if I had to choose a team to edge my bets and it wasn't Red Bull, I'd give it Ferrari.
Yeah.
2025.
Yeah. When was the last time McLaren won the Constructors, by the way? This has just come up to the top of my head because I'm going back through the championships. Lewis Hamilton won the Drivers, obviously in 2008. But Ferrari won the Constructors in 2008. It wasn't 2007 because they got disqualified from the Constructors. Was it 2005? Fernando Alonso obviously won the championship, but did Renault win the Constructors or was it McLaren? Because Kimi Räikkönen did pretty well. It might have been 1999, It might have been Mika Häkkinen's and David Coulthard's 1999.
That's before my time.
It's before our time. It possibly could be, Ferrari last Constructors Championship was 2007, so it's been
a while for both.
Since then, it's been... it's 2008, sorry, Ferrari. So since then, it's either been Brawn/Mercedes or Red Bull.
Yeah.
Which is quite mad.
We're moving into a changing of the guard.
Yes, yeah, we are. We're very much moving into. But anyway, let us know in the comments below. Will McLaren win a championship potentially by next year? Will Lando win a championship? And can he take it to Max this season a little bit more often? Hopefully he can, but let us know in the comments. Subscribe for more, and we'll see you next time.